prior to Thanksgiving. So we're all saying how grateful and we're thankful and all of that good stuff. And I just do want to say to each and every one of you guys that are on the call, I am grateful and thankful for you to taking the time out to be a part of this committee. It means a lot to me. And a lot of you know I'm quite a passionate kind of person, so I get a little out of control. But you all know that I all mean well, and Sylvia is always reeling me back in. Thank you, Sylvia. I really appreciate you. But in all, I just wanted to say I thank and I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm grateful that we have this committee and that we're able to join forces and be connected with other organizations within this community that has the same vision as we do. So today we do have a special guest here today, which is Tammy Marine. And I promise, Tammy, we are going to kind of be on our good behavior, but I can't guarantee it. But I know we do have a few people that are on the call. So if you guys, let's just go ahead before we really get into the nitty gritty of our committee introduction and mission and all that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and introduce yourself. So give your name and introduce yourself to Tammy so she'll have an idea who's on the call. Adriana.
Sorry. I'm like multitasking. You want me to start?
Absolutely, because you know what? You're the first person that shows up on my squares.
See, on my screen, it's Sylvia.
Well, you're on. And Tammy, by the way, she's not going to say much, but she's going to be the chair next year. So she will be heading the ship next year. And we're so excited.
Hi. Hi, I'm what did you want us to say? Just introduce
yourself, who you are, and then just maybe a little bit about yourself. You know that you're president right now of National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals.
Okay. I'm Adriana Burris. Hi. Welcome. I see new faces and I see some familiar faces. So grateful to have everybody here. And Janine, we are as well are very grateful for you and all that you've been passionate about and making us aware of and leading us, guiding us. And we know that from here, we're just going to do better, grow further, embrace each other, and definitely bring more of a presence to our community. So thank you for leading us and starting all of this. I'm Adriana. I am the president of the NAHREP Temecula Valley chapter, and I am a rep for Escrow 321. And I've also been a realtor for I think it's 17 years this year. So that's it.
Ooh, love it. Thank you, Adriana. We're so grateful to have you. Jamie.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon. I'm Jamie. I just started working with SRCAR. Probably, it's been like a month, huh? Yeah, around a month or so. So Sylvia's just trying to introduce me to this. She kind of just laid it on me this morning. So I'm all ears, but nice to meet you girls.
Oh, nice to have you too, Jamie. Nice to meet you. Welcome aboard. How about you, Ancoma?
Hello, everyone. My name's Ancoma Hose. I'm a real estate agent, realtor with Top Level Realty. And I'm happy to be here and participate in something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I know it's very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my goodness, Lisa Dunn. Hey, good to see you.
Lisa Dunn's being really super casual because I haven't left my chair since maybe 6 o'clock this morning. So yeah, because I was hanging at the same place that Mr. Terry Ryan was, and I wasn't expecting to see Mr. Terry Ryan on this call. He probably is like, who is that? Because yesterday I was in a business dress and suit jacket.
Ooh,
Not so much. But anyhow, I am like the constant guest here. Lisa Dunn. I'm with the Orange County Association of Realtors, Orange County Realtors, excuse me. Been doing this profession far too long, about 28 years or so, and have been busy doing stuff. One of the founders for Deliberately Fair Housing, and some of you may know what that is, some of you may not. It's just a group of us realtors trying to make a little bit of a change in this world and trying to make it a little bit better place for everybody. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Lisa. You're not a guest, my dear. You're
Okay.
part of us. Hey there, Chris. How are you?
Sorry about that. I'm doing well. How's it going?
Oh, great, great. Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Chris Stone. I'm a new realtor, newly 2 months in with Exit Alliance Realty out of Temecula,
Hmm.
and new liaison for the SCAR YPN.
Oh, well, awesome. Great. Welcome. And thank you for being part of this committee today. We'd love to have you on board.
Thank you very
Welcome to real estate. You do
Thank you.
have a fabulous broker, so you are in good hands.
Excellent. Thank you.
All righty. Oh, we got Terry Ryan is on the call. Terry, you want to say anything? Who are
I
you?
don't really have anything to say, except for it's good to be back home. I have been down at NAR meetings with Lisa and things for the last week. And we've been in meetings every day, all day, and sometimes into the evening, and it's good to be back home.
Yes.
And I'm a new realtor as well. We just did our 31st anniversary.
I love it. I love the way you
So I'm
put
right
that.
there with you, Chris. And
He's going backwards. You know how when you get to a certain age, then you just start going
Yeah.
backwards. Yeah, right.
I have a
But
long ways to go back.
and you take your experience and wisdom with you, though. And that's what's great. Thank you, Terry. Terry is our president right now of SRCAR until what, the end of this year?
End of this year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's counting, but it's like 40 days.
Oh, oh my goodness. So good to have you here. And again, we're thankful to have you here. Cheryl,
Hello, everyone.
hi.
What am I doing? Telling about myself.
Yeah, you just need to say who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Just second vice president of the Inland Empire Association of Realtors, member of Women's Council. I am on the government committee here in Orange County. And I've been a realtor for probably almost 3.5 years. So I'm kind of new, but I've been a home stager for 11 years. So I've been in real estate for around real estate for a while.
Yes, nice. You guys hear that, home stager? Okay, we might have to take you away from that for a little while. Well, welcome aboard and thank you so much for being with us here today, Cheryl. It's so good to have you. And IEAOR stands for?
Inland Empire Association of Realtists.
Thank you. All righty. I think we also have Amir Elahi. He's on as well, I think.
We see his name.
Hello there.
Oh yeah, there he is.
How are you?
Hi. Hi, Amir. Who are you?
Oh my gosh. You want the long or the short version?
I know. I
My
know.
name is Amir Elahi. I'm the president of the Inland Empire Association of Realtors, and I am a licensed realtor, husband, father, uncle, dad, all around great guy.
All around great guy. Like
All
it.
around,
Yeah.
all
Now,
around.
father of 3 girls, right?
2 girls,
2 girls, all girls.
all girls.
He's a
Yeah.
little outnumbered. Well, thank you so much. And then the last but not least is going to be our Sylvia, who is.
Hi, everyone. I'm the Executive Vice President for SRCAR. I work out of the Hemet office, and I'm your liaison for the Housing Diversity Committee.
Yay! Welcome. We couldn't do this without Sylvia. She holds us all together. Thank you so much, Sylvia. I appreciate you. All righty. Everybody knows me. I'm Janice Levendahl, broker on Top Level Realty, also a broker associate at eXp Realty. I am the first vice president of the Inland Empire Association of Realtists. I am a member of the National Association of Hispanics Real Estate Professionals, ARIA. Who else am I a member of?
WCR.
Huh? What was it?
WCR.
Oh yeah, WCR and yeah, KREV and all of those other companies as well. I've been involved in real estate for over 20 years. And yeah, I don't show my age, right? I started this when I was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, to be honest, Adriana, I think it's gotta be almost 30 years.
You
Can you
stole my
believe-
real estate pacifier.
Can you believe that? I think it really is. I've been saying 25.
Girl, you age well. Let me
I've
just
been-
say.
I think I have been saying 25 years for the last 6, 7 years.
And it
You
was
know,
a
I
lie
know the real
back
story,
then.
right?
Oh,
What do you think, Terry?
I think you were lying back then.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I would love it. Okay, yes.
You know, I will say though that this is the first year that we've actually had this committee. We formed it during my presidency and things because I felt it was important. And now you can understand why I asked Janice to take it over. She's been enthusiastic through the whole thing. She's on 1,200 committees, so I figured she had time for one more. And that's usually what you do, is take busy people and give them something to do. And she has excelled at it this year and putting things together. And we're happy to have her running this committee for the next 40 some days.
Yeah, 40 more days.
Yeah. So
Thanks
who's
for keeping
counting?
count. Yeah. Thanks for keeping count. All righty, Sylvia, we'll go ahead and get started with our mission. So everyone that is on this wonderful Zoom call with the SRCAR Housing Diversity Committee, our mission is, of course, is to foster unity, equity, diversity, and inclusion in the real estate industry. Now, we have several goals that we're trying to achieve with this committee, which is to provide education and resources to our members and community. We want to break down barriers and celebrate the differences and similarities alike, foster an environment that enables members and consumers to feel empowered, valued, respected, and safe. Promote ideas and events to further the spirit of diversity and inclusion. We have something really good that we're going to try and do next year. Open conversations and trainings about diversity and inclusion, and of course, better business communication. I tell you, we have here, if everybody has had an opportunity to review our October 21st minutes, I think we did. But anyway, here's our minutes. Yep, okay, that looks good. These were in attendance. We had a lot of people last week. A motion was made and second and carried and all that good stuff. So if everybody like to make a motion to approve these minutes, that would be great. Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from October 21st. Or
Thank you.
is it October 21st or just October 2021? Is that what we have on here?
Yeah, it actually was the 21st.
October 21st. Okay.
Mhm.
I second it.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Got the second. Any discussions in regards to that? Nope. Okay, all in favor, let's say aye.
All right.
Aye. Aye. Okay. Anyone opposed? Thank you. Nobody opposed. So, all righty. It has been approved. We are good to go. We can move forward. Thank goodness. All righty. We do have a guest speaker here today, ladies and gentlemen, and she's been hanging on just patiently with us as we go through our process of our meeting. But before I introduce her, I just want to remind everyone we are planning and trying to get all of our ideas together for next year for our cultural event next year. And it's going to be fun. And it's going to be big because I like big. So anyway, but I won't be president next year. So I guess you could probably change it, Adriana. My vision is always big. But anywho, nonetheless, I'd like to introduce you guys to our special guest today, which is Tammy Marine. She's actually from the Habitat for Humanity, and she's been She has visited us in the past, but today she is a special guest today because she has some things that she wants to present to us and tell us a little bit about Habitat for Humanity, and also present some things to us that we can probably incorporate with our housing diversity community, housing diversity committee, in order to help keep our realtors involved. Tammy, you have the floor.
Oh, well, thank you, Janice, for the invitation. And it's such an honor to be with all of you. We all work in the field of housing. I just happen to be on the nonprofit side of things, but I love it when we work together because I think it's a natural match. And so it's great. I really want to applaud Terry for his vision in putting together the diversity committee. It's very impressive. And Habitat for Humanity has long, since 1977, actually, we've long taken a dive into that racial inequity that happens with homeownership. And it's been a core component of our program for all those years. So I love that, you know, it's challenging right now with diversity, equity, and inclusion in terms of the bringing everybody onto the same page, but it's time. And it's wonderful that leaders like you step up and take a lead and make people know that this is the right thing to do, and it's safe and it's okay, and we can all move forward in a positive direction together. So I love that. So my goal today is I want to talk a little bit about our programs and tell you a little bit about that. I want to give you some statewide statistics about affordable housing. And I also want to spend a few minutes talking about subsidized rental. Not that my precursor is I don't think subsidized rental is a bad thing at all. And I think there are many people that need to be in subsidized rental, and I support it. But I also think that there are a lot of people that could get out if they had an opportunity like Habitat for Humanity. And this in part is why we have racial inequity in this country, because some of the systems that have already been put in place. And so I want to talk a tiny bit about that, and then also want to give you some opportunities and things that you might want to consider in terms of your own occupations with real estate or whatever it is that you're doing in the housing arena. So just to start off with, Habitat for Humanity is a nonprofit organization. We're an affordable housing developer, and we build self-help housing, as it's called. So we build housing for low-income families under 80% of the area median income in most cases. And those families tend to be important, critical people in our community, hardworking families that just can't afford fair market rent or get into homeownership, but are stable families that can afford to buy a house. And so what we do is, with the help of the family, they do 500 sweat equity hours. They come up with a small down payment. They go through a series of classes and are matched with a partner advocate that stays with them for at least a year after they move into their home. And so our holistic program essentially takes people out of subsidy and stabilizes them and allows them to become upwardly mobile. And we give them the tools to allow that. And we have less than a 2% foreclosure rate in the entire country of all of the 1,300 Habitat affiliates, because our program is so holistic in nature and really helps change the mindset of families and gives them an opportunity to grow. And so I'm really proud of our program. That's the core of the program. In addition to that, we also do home repairs, and we do about 150 home repairs a year. So we're working almost every weekend, and primarily the home repairs are done for seniors. We're seeing, as you know, that baby boomers are getting older. They're wanting to stay in their houses longer. They can stay in their houses longer, but they can't always maintain their homes. And we also have something called neighborhood revitalization, which might be of interest to some of you at times, because we're able to come in and do multiple exterior improvements we clump them into an area, so it kind of raises up a neighborhood as well as serves individual families. Another thing we provide is education. So while we educate our Habitat homeowners, we also open it up to the general public. And so in your travels and working with families, if you come across families that can't quite get into home ownership, that might be an aspect for them, one, to apply for a Habitat house. But the other issue is that even families that don't qualify for a Habitat house, we have a program that helps them to try to improve what their conditions are and get connected to another program, perhaps. That's a lot of the challenge with low-income families too, is they just don't know what's out there or how to get there. So that's a service that we provide. And then we also have a construction apprenticeship program. I know all of you working in housing know how expensive housing is, and that there's a shortage of construction workers. We overcorrected back in my generation with our kids and pushed all kids to college and different forms of occupation. And what ended up resulting is that no one wanted to go into the trades. And so right now even though that's a wonderful career path for certain individuals. And so there's definitely a shortage there that's impacting our housing too. And then last thing on the program side is how many of you have been to our Restore or Design Center? Has anybody gone to that? Okay, some of you. So a Restore is basically a home improvement thrift shop, for lack of a better word. About half of the items in the store are brand new and about half are used. So say you replace your white appliances with stainless steel, you could donate the white appliances to us, and it allows a lower income family to be able to access an appliance that they might need. But we also have about half of the items are brand new. So we pick up discontinued items from Lowe's distribution center or returns. Our design center has furniture and home goods, and most of that is donated to us, believe it or not, through Paris. Through the Wayfair, through the Paris distribution center. Because Wayfair is a third party kind of a processor of orders, they get their material from all around the world. When the returns come back, it's less expensive for them to just donate it to us than it is to reprocess it and get it back to a customer. So we're the lucky recipient of that. So if you haven't been to the design center, especially I heard somebody as a stager, come check it out, because we have beautiful items at a very low cost, and it's just a great place to come and shop. The Restores lean more towards a Home Depot or a Lowe's type of a setup. And those are great places for property managers to come and do some inexpensive repairs to units, but the general public as well. There's always fun, funky things that designers like to find at the Restores too. So that's kind of the crux of what our programming is. And I wanted to show you, if I could, can I share a video?
Yes.
Let me see if I can pull this up. I wanted to show you kind of a video that we did last year. It's about 6 minutes, but it kind of shows the depth of those programs that I'm talking about. And hopefully. Oh, goodness. Oh, there's my medical card, just in case you want to see it.
Oh, we're not seeing anything right now.
You're not seeing anything right now? Okay.
No.
Okay, hang on. Can you give me 1 second?
Yeah. Hey, Sandy, are you there on the call?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi there. Are you familiar with this subsidy rental program?
I'm actually in the middle of one right now.
Are you? Tell us a little bit. Do you mind sharing a little?
Well, this one I just started. So basically the tenants went ahead and contacted the county, I think it is. And I could tell you the name of the, if you just let me open it real quick. And she, it is, and then they fill out their portion, then I fill out my portion. It's United Way, Inland SoCal United Way. And that's what this one's going through.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so basically I fill out my landlord or property management portion of it. And that's what I started this morning. And And that's why I was late for the meeting because I was actually uploading my file, sorry. So anyways, you have to, even though they give you the contract, the lease, they expect you to also give it. They want to make sure that it's probably the same contract. And then you put in your ACH information for your bank and everything. And then you have to fill out the portion, like how many days late they are, late on utilities, everything, every month you have to put in. And it's this one starting April 2020. And it can go all the way through current month. So, and then they, I guess they subsidize it or they help. I, like I said, I'm just in the beginning of it, so I don't know exactly the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So they are going to subsidize a portion of their rent. So that is like a guarantee for it as the landlord is concerned.
Right. Well, there's
a
two,
guarantee of the
well,
rent.
there's two, in this case, there's two, might be, in this case, there's two tenants, they're sisters, and one sister got hurt. So now she's, and her employer is not paying enough, for her, disability or whatever it is. I don't know exactly the details. So one of them is paying rent, but the second one's not being able to. So that's the issue here. So she's the one who's trying to get the support and the help from the government.
Okay.
Can I ask why you're asking? I'm just curious.
Oh, no, because she was talking about, I thought maybe you were going through the same program because they were talking about the subsidy rental program. So,
Yeah,
and I know you're land, I know you have some rental properties and I know you do property management as well. So that's why I wanted to see if you had any experience with it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, not subsidizing through Habitat for Humanity. I've helped build a house and I've helped, with through SRC, and then separately, we've helped the community, plant and paint. But I didn't even know they had a subsidy program.
Okay.
We don't have a subsidy program, but I'll talk about that after the video. I want to contrast the difference between subsidizing and getting someone in self-help housing, but I say it very respectfully because I believe that subsidized rental is really critical and there are many people that need it. I just don't think everybody needs to stay there for the rest of their life, and that's what our system promotes, and that's what I want to talk about. But I want to first show you the video. Can you see my screen? Can I share the screen? I think you have to push it on your video so I can share.
So I give you access to share. So you would have to click the green button at the bottom of your screen to share screen and then select the screen you want to share.
Okay.
And then make sure you click the button to share sound as well.
Here we go. Okay, perfect. I click the button.
Okay. We see the video.
Okay, let's see if you can hear it.
No.
Okay. So
At the bottom of your screen, I believe there's going to be, I think it says more, and there might be something that says to enable audio or share audio.
Do you know where that is?
It should be at the bottom.
I see. I got it. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay. All right. Here we go. But we still can't hear it, I don't think, right?
You lowered the volume. So you want to increase your volume and then you want to rewind your, so you want to push that and replay. But no, I still can't hear it.
I'm so sorry. I do this all the time and I'm not.
You want to, can you put the link inside chat or email it to myself or Sylvia? And then that way we can see if we can get to play it.
Yes. Okay. I'm so sorry about that.
Nope, that's what happens. Technology.
It says share. I've got it clicked on share sound. But nothing. Okay. Well, you know what? I can skip the Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
No, don't be. But if you want to email it or share the link, then we can, maybe someone, I or Sylvia can play it and share it. There's always a way.
I just don't want to waste your time.
Open house building, like, ooh, I like to see that.
It's okay. I'll just speak to it. I think. So anyway, I apologize for that. But really, what the video really talked about is all the things that we did last year. So during COVID, during a really difficult time for nonprofits in general, we were able to partner with the County of Riverside, and we delivered 7,600 food baskets to residents all over in the County of Riverside, which was really amazing that we were able to utilize our vehicles, our staff, and all that. Instead of go on furlough, we were able to do that. And we finished a house in Elsinore. We had multiple 150 home repairs. There's a lot of different things that happened last year. But the one thing I wanted to talk to your group about was, and some of this you may already know, but just the affordable housing crisis in general. And the fact that there's such a disparity with low income families and how they can access homeownership. And what I wanted to talk about was subsidized rental. Again, I want to say it very gingerly because I am not disputing the need for subsidized rental. It's an important component of the housing spectrum for sure. But what tends to happen is that hardworking families end up getting into Section 8 and get into subsidized rental, and they have no way to jump out. They have no way to exit the program. And it really limits upward mobility. And it's very much a challenge for a certain percentage of homeowners. So for instance, the last house we built in Lake Elsinore, there was one family that got the house, but there were 60 families that applied for the house. And the majority of those families were on subsidized rental. So they were already raising their hand and saying, we want to do more, and we can, but they couldn't. And it also, what happens in subsidized rental is it deters people from moving upward because they're afraid of losing their housing. So in Southern California, Temecula specifically, it takes someone working a minimum wage job, 2.5 people to work a minimum wage job to be able to afford the average rent here, which is just completely absurd. And to get into homeownership is just a whole nother thing. So we have people that work in agriculture and retail and work at Starbucks. I'm working with a mom right now that works at Trader Joe's, a single mom, and she is in such a housing dilemma and just wants to have that place to be able to build the American dream just like the rest of us. And it's crazy that a vibrant community cannot provide enough opportunities so that everybody can thrive, not just certain people thrive. Like I mentioned with our Habitat program, it's so holistic. We have less than a 2% foreclosure rate. So people that get into the house, they do well. They're at a lower income. But what happens over time is they're not bound by that ceiling that happens when they're in low income housing. They can move on to bigger and better things. So as an example, there's someone that has been, we've been working with at Habitat. She is she's in her 50s. She became single. She has a good job, and she was recently offered a promotion. And the promotion was about $4,000 a year. And it was enough that if she took the promotion, it would bump her out and she would lose her subsidized unit. And so she had to opt out because she didn't know what else to do. She came to us, we had a long conversation about it, trying to figure out what her next path is. Of course, I want her to apply for a Habitat house, and those opportunities are coming as well. But it's just a dilemma with people in that subsidized arena. If we could somehow migrate even just 10-20% of those people out of housing, it would be really impactful and help people in a holistic long-term way. So our affiliate recently engaged in a study with Cal State San Marcos, and we'll have the results of the study back in December. But we're really trying to look at what does it cost to subsidize someone over a 30-year period in Section 8? And what does it cost to give a subsidy to get somebody into a habitat house? Because believe it or not, all these billions of dollars that are rolling down for housing from the state and federal government, Habitat for Humanity is not eligible for any of those funds. And I know probably better than anyone because I'm the chair for the County of Riverside for the homeless funds that come from both the state and federal government. It's called the Continuum of Care, and I'm the chair of the Board of Governance. So 2 years ago, we had $9 million we dispersed within Riverside County to homeless providers, subsidized rental programs, transitional housing. This year, it will be close to $60 million, and not $1 of that is eligible for homeownership. So when we're looking at the challenges with affordable housing in the entire country, to me, this is the key issue, that it's great to be able to, we have to house people, and subsidized rental is key, but we also have to give them a path out. And the way the system is now, because the market keeps going up and land is more expensive, it just deters people from ever getting close to their dreams. And these are really hardworking people that are needed members of our community. We have some individuals that are working with us with Habitat that are forced to commute from places like Hemet and Paris and other cities. And those cities aren't bad. I'm not saying that they are at all, but to have to commute because you can't afford housing in that community is just a travesty to me. So Habitat's working really hard legislatively as a state and as on the national level with the federal and state legislators to try to find concessions and ways that we can push forward and be able to do more so we can serve more people. And I'm really hopeful about what the future holds for us. I think it could be really impactful. Traditionally, Habitat's only been able to do small number of units since redevelopment was eliminated back in 2009. And so our affiliate will do, we did 22 houses, and then we did 1 house, 2 houses. Right now, we've got 6 houses that will be starting in Temecula in 2022. We're actually in the development phase now, and 1 house in Lake Elsinore, but it's not big enough of a dent to really impact. And so that's what we're hoping, is that in time we can garner more support from these government funds that come down. I'm not 100% advocate for just using government funding, but when you think about what it costs to build a house in California, when you can't scale, we spend about $350,000 a unit. And it's money well spent because it really stabilizes families and helps in every aspect, but it's a lot of money to raise. $350,000 is about the average size of a full year operating budget for an average nonprofit. And that's what we put into the program side just for 1 house. So, but when you look at, so here's my argument, and this is the data that will be collected from Cal State San Marcos. When you look at a family and they've been subsidized for a 30-year period, what that costs is astronomical in comparison to an investment with Habitat for Humanity, and they make payments and the payments come back, which then go to build more units. So I think collectively our country needs to just stand back and look at the systems that have been in place so long that cause that inequality and barriers for not only communities of color, but all low-income families. And we need to take a long, hard look at why those systems were in place and what we need to do to refine those so we're better stewards of those money and we can get more done with less. And that's one thing that our affiliate and our Habitat California group will be working on over the next few months. So I'm really excited about what the outcome could be. So one of the things that we have started doing over the years is collecting data on how home ownership really changes the lives of low income families. And when you look at the data of the houses we've built here in Southwest Riverside County, you see that the kids are more likely to graduate, go on to higher forms of education. They're more likely to vote. They're more likely to be volunteers in the community because they're so touched by how many people came out and helped build their own home. They're more likely to build wealth. And of course, inheritable wealth is an understated thing that happens with low-income families. When you don't have something to hand on, it leaves future generations at somewhat of a disadvantage. And then just being able to have that upward mobility, to have the freedom to be able to take that promotion or to do bigger and better things is really critical. And also the self-esteem and the paradigm shift that happens in a person's mind with a program like ours, because they have to do something to get something. That's the key and the secret sauce, in my opinion, is that they're a part of the process. Do we need their help with coming out and volunteering and painting and things like that? We don't. I mean, we appreciate it. But really, the reason why we have families do that is that it changes the way they view the world. And when they become a part of making their own dream a reality by being that engaged in the process, it changes everything. And they no longer see the world as, well, that opportunity is for people like that, not people like me. They view the world in a much healthier context, and they're more likely to go on to bigger and better things. And so I couldn't be more of a advocate for our program and the types of impacts it has on families and also future generations. So I'm hopeful that as time goes on, we can continue to do more and actually scale and do larger scale projects instead of the smaller developments that we've been doing, although every single family matters. So just to kind of touch back on really what's happening with housing in the state. I told you that it takes 2.5 people working a minimum wage job in order to afford average rent. We're also, as a state, falling short every single year, a little less than 200,000 units short a year just to keep up with the population growth. So numbers of units are a huge issue. And so we have to continue to find ways to be able to augment that gap. The other thing is that out of the 19 most expensive metro areas in the country, 17 of them are in California. And so we know that building in California is extremely expensive. Affiliate I know in Texas is building, the permits to build a house in Texas are about $5,500. For us here in Southwest Riverside County, the permits, the CEQA, all the additional things that you have to do are about $55,000. That's just out of the gate. So the cost of building is extremely high. And then when you compound it with the high cost of materials now and the shortage of workers and the elimination of redevelopment agencies, all those things have made a really complex problem. But nonetheless, we're still making progress. So that's kind of a little bit of the state of housing right now. I wanted to talk about a few opportunities that we have coming up. And the first one is the fact that we are building 6 houses and the one in Elsinore, and we are taking applications for those houses now. So if you know someone in one of those situations, please have them check our website, habitativ.org, and you can check it out. What we do first is we have an info meeting. We have people come, they learn about the program, and we pre-qualify them. But what we don't do, if they don't pre-qualify, we don't just set them free. We try to figure out what maybe the barrier is, what they might need. So sometimes people, and actually it's Habitat IV, I'm sorry, for Inland Valley. So sometimes the barrier is that they make just a little bit too much, a little over 80% of the area median income. And if that's the case, there are some other programs that are out there as well. And so what we'll do is we'll help guide them to some other programs that might be more suitable to them. Sometimes it's that they have such bad credit. With Habitat, you buy the house with a low interest loan. We price the house based on what the family can afford. We protect it with a silent second, so they can't make a windfall on it. And that is carried through the duration of the loan. And then they make payments on what they can afford, like a traditional loan, like a 30-year period. And those dollars come back to us, which we recycle for future projects. So the model is pretty amazing, actually. But that's kind of how the program works. And so sometimes a family might have bad credit. And if they have really bad credit, then we'll work with them on understanding why their credit is bad and what they can do to repair it, and give them a sense of hope, because a lot of low income families, the way that they live is paycheck to paycheck. You know, I've done it myself when I was younger, you know, paycheck to paycheck, and you just put out fire after fire. And that's kind of a coping strategy that low income families face, because there's not enough to go around. And so we teach them how to look long term and to really understand what their financial situation is, what they can do to improve it, and how they can make incremental steps to get to a better place. So as an example, one of the houses we had in Temecula, the homeowner was actually a campus supervisor for Chaparral High School. So she didn't qualify the first time around. Her credit was too bad, and she had not finalized her divorce, and there were some things that were impacting her financial picture. And so she came back to us about 14 months later and had taken our advice and it kind of cleaned that up. And she's now in a Habitat for Humanity house. So, you know, if you refer someone and they don't get in the program, coach them to not be discouraged. It's a process. We try to connect them to other programs or figure out what's going on with them, and try to help mentor them to get to a better place. That's what happens, is that people just lose hope. And when they lose hope, they just they're not motivated to do anything. So we have staff that are equipped to really help with that. And so just know that those houses are available. We've already had 3 informational meetings, but there's another one coming up, and it's on the website. And they're required to go to that meeting that's one of the requirements to be qualified as an applicant. So I just want you to know that that's an opportunity we have. The other opportunity we have is that since we're building 6 houses, we have a program called Love Squared. And so organizations like yours, or the Realtor Association, or you individually with your peer group or whatever, they can adopt a room. And so for $20 a square foot, you can adopt a room. And so you get logo recognition and feel like you're a part of sponsoring one of the 6 houses. So that's an opportunity. The other thing I wanted to mention, I kind of alluded to it before, was the restores and the design center. Don't forget about those, because in your occupations, there's you could use it for staging, for property management. The other thing you can do that a lot of realtors have done is co-brand with us. So when they're taking their flyers out in a neighborhood, we've had people that had on a door knocker, on the other side of the door knocker is Habitat for Humanity and a coupon to the restore. And all of a sudden, that flyer that a lot of times people just throw away, it has value added to it, because there's a coupon on the bottom that goes to the design center or the restore. And that could help also with your credibility when you have co-branding with a nationwide nonprofit organization like ours. So, and it creates that sense of goodwill. We've also had realtors in the past that have bought from us what we call a welcome home basket. And the basket has some a gift certificate to the Restore, and it also has basics like home improvement tools and the things you need in just to get you started in your first time home ownership opportunity. So those are available for $100 a basket. And it's a really nice presentation, and it gives you an opportunity to support us at the same time and also introduce your clients to the Restores. So those are some of the kind of things that we're doing. We also have lots of fun events, and we love to have you guys come out. I don't know if you know it, but right now is Christmas Tree Lane. It's in the Promenade Mall on the lower level in front of J.C. Penney's. It's 25 designer trees and a playhouse. And what I love about this fundraiser is that traditional fundraisers, it's like the top tier that it can afford the $200 ticket or the $10,000 sponsorship or whatever it is. Christmas Tree Lane is open to everybody because all you need is $1 to be able to buy a raffle ticket and put it into one of the 26 buckets to see if you can win something. And so it's a very inclusive fundraiser by nature, and it creates a lot of joy because you literally walk through a little lane and get to see all the beautiful lights. And so I invite you to come out and be a part of that. You already are a part of it, actually, because one of the trees is sponsored by you, the Southwest County Association of Realtors, and they almost every year sponsor a tree for us, which is really lovely, and we really appreciate that. So we invite you to come out and check it out and also tell people about it. So a lot of people, I just had someone last weekend bought 200 tickets from us, and they're going to do a flyer and staple one ticket on every flyer, just again to add that value added and to give a gift to some of their potential clients or customers or whatever it might be. So those are just some of the things that are going on. Coming out volunteering as a group, there's nothing better than doing a team building experience on a Habitat job site. Everybody becomes at the same level and is working together. You get to meet the family, you get to bond in that situation. It's just a lot of fun, and you walk away with a tangible result. You walk away with a before and after, and I will promise you, if you come to a Habitat site, you'll drive by that location a million times afterwards to show everybody that you helped work on that house. So those are some of the kinds of things that we're doing too. And lastly, we're not doing it this year because of COVID, but hopefully next year. Habitat for Humanity serves 70 countries around the world. And the houses that are built outside of the US are funded through the US affiliates. And so what we do is we tithe 10% of our undesignated donations to international building. And then we send a team every year to go to another country to build outside of the US. So obviously when you're building in places like Nepal or Nicaragua or Cambodia, locations like that, you can build for so much less. It costs $5,500 to build a house outside of the US on average. And so we've been able to build, I think we're up to 59 homes outside of the US just through the tithe program. And I think we've gone on, I want to say it's either 8 or 9 global village trips. And we invite you, if that's something you're interested in, to keep in touch with us, because when those opportunities come, we usually send a team of 10 to 12. I've gone on many of those trips, and they're life-changing, because once you see how people are living in other places and you feel like you're a part of the solution, you'll come back and you'll never look at your world exactly the same again. It's just a very profound experience. So I'm sorry to rattle on so long. There's just so much to say, but I just want to say how grateful I am for the opportunity to talk to all of you. We're all, as I mentioned earlier, we're all in the same boat in terms of the housing piece. And I love it when we can work together, and we have as strong of a commitment as you do to diversity and inclusion. and trying to understand how we can bridge those gaps and make the world a little more fair and equitable place. So I love that that you're initiating this. I actually just recently nominated the Ready Commission for an award from Interfaith Council, and I'm hoping they get it because it's just so important to me. One of our board members is a member of that committee, and we talk about equity and inclusion all the time, not just at our local affiliate, but also on the national level. It's a key component now to what we talk about. Like I said before, we've been doing it all along. People just didn't know about it. And so now we're able to formalize things a little bit better and really get to kind of the core of the issues, and hopefully legislatively we can make an impact and make some shifts and changes over the next few years that will help many people, I hope. So I just want to open it up to any of you that might have questions or thoughts. I'd just love to hear those.
There was a question in the chat when you are referring about being holistic. What does that look like? Like, what are you referring to?
So when I say holistic, what I mean is that we try. There are some programs that. So let me give you an example. Clean Extreme. I don't think that's not Clean Extreme. Extreme Home Makeover, isn't it? That's what it was called. Okay, I don't think it's a thing anymore. But as an example, with Extreme Home Makeover, what they did was they surprised the recipient. They came back with this beautiful home with all the bells and whistles. And what they found that happened after the cameras left is that there was a high likelihood of failure with the families because they weren't accustomed to what was happening. They weren't financially able to keep up with the taxes. There was a lot of different issues that impacted their success level as a homeowner. What we do at Habitat is very holistic in that we try to look at all the sides of the individual. It's not a transaction for us. It's a mindset change. And we try to shepherd the person into this path to homeownership by giving them the tools they need to succeed. So that's why we incorporate and we require sweat equity, because we know that when you earn something, it means something more to you and you take it more serious. That's why they pay back with a no interest loan at a level they can afford, but still they're paying for the house. And there's a sense of self-esteem that comes with that. That's why we send them through classes, because we want them to even go on to bigger and better things. And so we want them to really understand their finances and budgeting and all those different things, home maintenance, all that. And that's why they're matched with a partner advocate, we call it, which is basically a mentor. And they're there to shepherd them, give them ideas, new ways to think, making sure that the house stays maintained. Are they having any financial issues? I mean, and we do have things that come up all the time. There's a situation we have with a family now where she's not the best budgeter, and we're not going to give up on her, you know, and so she comes in short every month. And so it takes the human connection, inspiration, and instilling a sense of hope in people and understanding about what's really happening for people to change. Otherwise, if you just leave a person to change on their own fruition, they can do that, but it's harder than when you're influenced. You know, the same with a parent-child relationship. It's all about the coaching. At the end of the day, the person has to make the decision they want to make the change. But can we influence people's lives and can we help them in that way? We absolutely can. And that's the piece that is left off of a lot of programs, is it's just so cut and dry simple that they forget that this is a person that has viewed the world in this way for multi-generations. And so that's why I call it holistic. I feel like we look at the whole person, not just the transaction of the house.
So Tammy, when a new homeowner takes on one of the homes, how long is this continual type of consulting or being a mentor, how long do they have support? Is it all the way until they sell the home or they move out, or?
So what because we also want to be really respectful of the fact that this is their home
Mhm.
and they're a homeowner. And so we don't want to be micromanagers and interfere too much.
Right.
But what we do require is the homeowner to agree to be matched with the partner advocate for a year after they move into the home. But 9 times out of 10, what happens, because that mentor is with them also during construction, so it's usually like a 2-year period. What
Mhm.
we find is that they build relationships and they often stay connected forevermore, not in every case, but at least for a year. And then we have a person, the director of family services, we call her, who does check-ins on the homeowners from time to time. We try to find ways to stay connected so that we can understand if there's any challenges. And sometimes there are challenges we can see. We might do drive-bys by the house. We can't dictate them to maintain the house in a certain way, and we don't want to be that controlling. But we might see that this is something that happened a couple years ago, that a house was really the landscape was really in a state of disrepair. Well, it was a single mom and she was going to school part-time and she didn't have time. And so we went in and we did some drought tolerant landscaping so she didn't have to do so much yard work. So we'll intervene in things like that if the homeowner agrees to it. So it's a longer term relationship, but we also are mindful of the fact that we're trying to get them independent and we're not trying to control them. We're just trying to coach them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I like that. So at least for sure, they're going to get at least 2 years with someone that they can feel comfortable with as far as asking questions, or if they run into a challenge, say, okay, I think I'm running into some trouble here. So I like that. I like it. Is there the name of that program? It's called Subsidized Housing. Is that the name of it?
Oh, no. So sorry, I should have been more clear on that. What I was talking about initially was that in affordable housing, when you're low income, you really have a choice of substandard housing is what I call it, which is either poverty housing, like just substandard. It's not maintained well, or being overcrowded in living conditions, or being cost burdened, meaning that you pay more than 30% of your income for housing, which deters you from doing a lot of other things in life that you need, like medical and transportation, education, and luxuries, the spice of life that we love. So when I talk about subsidized housing, it's either there's that choice of being in housing that's not quite adequate for you, or sometimes you go to a government program where the program gives you Section 8 a voucher, for instance. So they pay a component of your rent. That's the piece I'm talking about. And usually that's provided from HUD, from the federal government, or sometimes cities do it, and sometimes private developers. It's needed, and that's very, very important. And I'm not anti-subsidized housing. We don't do subsidized housing. We do home ownership. But that, my argument is that we just can't assume that that's the best those families can ever do for the rest of their life and just leave them there, because the program is structured in a way that they can't get out. The gap from what they're paying, the lower income amount per month, to fair market value rent or home ownership is too broad for them to make that jump. And that's why our program, I think, is needed, if that makes sense.
And what is that program called?
Our program is just the Habitat for Humanity homeownership program.
Homeownership program.
We call it self-help homeownership because they do sweat equity to earn their home.
Now, are they able to take advantage of the equity at some point?
They absolutely are, but there are limitations to that. So it's not at the same level as if you bought a house. There are limitations to that, but it's equitable based on what they invest into the house. So we do what's called split equity. So if they
Mhm.
sold their, and it depends on the transaction, because it depends on who donated the land, and there's a lot of variables there. But usually there's a split equity component. So we might split the equity, and then for us, that money goes back into housing anyway, but for them, they get a jump start on something else. But oddly enough, nobody leaves our houses. There's only been one person that has left their house since I've been involved since 2005.
Mhm.
And that is the same with most other affiliates. The majority of people don't leave their house because they're so invested in it. They helped build it, and our homes are beautiful. They're not just basic, they're beautiful houses because they bring up any community. So, but yes, there's definitely the equity component attached to it as well.
Is there a limit as far as how long they need to live in that property before they could either um, buy another home and maybe rent that one out, or do you allow that?
We don't allow them to rent a Habitat home. That's not allowed in our program. We don't allow them to get a second on the house because we're trying to help them stay financially stable. But depending on, every transaction is different. But if we get land that's donated by the city or county, there's affordability covenants on the land. So it has to stay affordable for 30 years, 45 years, it just depends. Now, the house we're building in Lake Elsinore was donated by a family estate. And so, that transaction will be a little bit different. But we always work to be as fair and equitable with the homeowner as possible. And it definitely is an opportunity for them to grow and for them to grow as financially, for sure.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some ways on how we can definitely be able to support Habitat for Humanity with all of these different programs, and we just have to get a little creative on how we can get our realtors involved. There was something you had mentioned in regards to the Love Squared, and it was $20 or something per square. We're talking about where we could get realtors to donate $100 or something like that.
Yeah, and we can customize the program for you too. So Love Squared is basically to do one component of a house, but we also could, if you were interested in the past, when we built 5 houses on Poohole Street in Temecula, the realtors sponsored one of the houses. And so I think it was $100. Actually, back then, I think it was $50 a house. Any realtor that wanted to donate $50 could be a part of recognition. It had everybody's name attached to it, and they were able to sponsor a house. And the board of realtors actually went to their foundation, and they were able to match the dollars that the realtors gave, which was really fantastic. And so they helped to sponsor one of the homes. We'd love for you to do that. You could adopt that home, you could adopt that family, come out and volunteer when you wanted to, when the building starts. There's all kinds of components. So if you want to talk amongst yourself about if you're interested in something like that, then we could talk offline and figure out what the details are and put a program together. We'd love to do that.
Yes, I think we can definitely do something with that and be able to help support in that way. And and the welcome gift basket, the gift baskets, the door hangers, all of those things, I'm quite sure we can get out there and help with. I know that with Toastmasters, our Toastmasters here in Temecula, we helped build one of the little houses on Christmas Tree Lane. So maybe next year we could our committee could actually be the little small group that helped build one of those, or help build something for next year, because I'm quite sure we have to be creative every year and come up with something different. But that's something of how we can be involved and give back as well. I love all the things that you have presented to us today, because I think we can get really creative and really make something happen, not just even with SRCAR, because at Tammy, we have so many other different organizations that are on this call as well. So you just have put the word out tenfold just right here by just who the members that are on this call. So yeah.
One thing I wanted to say, 2 things I wanted to to say real quick. One is I noticed there was some Orange County people on the call, and I
Mhm.
want to give a shout out to our Orange County affiliates. So we all serve geographic territories, and my affiliate serves Southwest Riverside County, but there's also affiliate in Riverside, and there's one in Orange County. And if you want to connect to those, I can definitely get you connected to those affiliates as well. And the second thing is that when we're talking about opportunities and maybe things that you could do to help us, I want you to know from our side, you know, nonprofits have changed over the years, and it's got to be a win-win. And so it has to, and that's okay. I mean, it's good when people do things for us as a feel good. I love that. But there's ways that we can partner and work together where it's a win for you too. And we're always open to looking at what is the goal and how can we help you as well, either through the co-branding or through visible opportunities that get your name out. When we raised the walls in one of the houses in it was in Paris a couple years ago, the realtors came out and they were on opening day. So they were that's the big day when you put the walls up and it's the big photo op. And so, you know, depending on what you want to do, we can arrange to have those types of opportunities. And then that gives you something to put on your website, your newsletter, all those kind of things. And it feels good to everybody. And yes, Sharon Ellis is one of my mentors and dearest friends, and she's still the Orange County person. And I would love to connect you to her if you would like to speak with her.
Yeah, I so want to get involved. I'm in. I'm so in.
Thank you.
Well, it's the other side of what you do every day in making the dream of homeownership possible. And but we're doing it for those that are a little bit more challenged. And so I love that. I think that of any of the organizations that we work with, working with the realtors is the most natural choice because we're already in the same field. And so it's just such a benefit all the way around. So I love working with you guys. And I will definitely tell Sharon you said hi. I talk to her all the time and she's a wonderful lady.
Yeah, we love Lisa too. But yeah, and I love the fact of the education and trying to have that paradigm shift, the mind changing of the families that we're going to help, because I think that that's where it has to start. It really does. So I'm all in.
When we talk about homeless, which I do in my role with the county, the game changer to helping people to move up or to see the world in a different way, it's all about relationships. And so I often say with Habitat that the house they get is the goodie bag at the end. It's not nearly as important as the relationship that's built and the confidence that people build in themselves. And having a broader viewpoint of the world. It's incredible. Like my personality, I would love to give. I've changed a lot over the years with nonprofit work. A lot of helper type people come into the nonprofit trade, as a profession. And I used to think that I just wanted to give everybody everything. I really thought that was the right way. I worked for 15 years at Boys and Girls Club, and I thought that was the right way. And then I started having some realizations that sometimes helping is hurting. And that the way you fix that is to get people engaged in this reality that they can make anything happen in their life. And that is the piece of Habitat that I love the most.
Yes. Okay. Well, all righty. Well, you have given us a lot to think about, and that we got to think about. Guys, I know I kind of throw a lot on us, but you know what? We can handle it. We got a lot to do. We have a lot to do. And I know Sylvia's going to reel me in, but I know I always have this big vision, and then someone's got to kind of, okay, Janice, we need to take it step by step. But I think we can do this. And it's just going to take us a little time to plan it out. And we can really make this happen. We can not only just by helping Tammy and the Habitat for Humanities, we will be able to help SRCAR with the visibility that we're out there supporting the community. And also not only just SRCAR, all of the other organizations as well. You got IEAOR, we got the NAREBs, we got all of those. We all can pull together and do this. We can do it, and we are going to do it. So Tammy, we're in.
Because we're in.
We're in, right? Everybody.
Look, I guess we're in.
I know.
We've been talking about this for a while, so yes, we're
We
in.
have,
We
haven't
have.
we, Cheryl?
Yes, we
So
have.
I know IEAOR is in, and now we have SRCAR. SRCAR has always have been sponsors for Habitat for Humanity, but now we're going to do even just a little more, and we're going to be out there and we're going to be helping some people, and that's what we want to do. And we're going to be building. We're going to be building communities. We're going to be building people. We're going to be uplifting people. We're going to be building confidence. We're going to make this a better place. I love it. Okay.
Meeting over.
For this
Meeting's
opportunity.
over. Janice has gotten passionate again.
I'm
So
logging off.
I have a question regarding the meeting. We needed to motion Adriana in just for minute purposes because we didn't do it the last time. And then are we having a meeting in December or like for
yeah.
planning?
That
purposes?
is part of our agenda, isn't it? Yes, we did. I think last month we did.
No, we didn't because I don't know why it got tabled, but it didn't. We didn't make a motion.
Okay. I thought we did because you know what? It was at the board meeting. That's why I thought it was done.
Okay. Okay.
So so she's been on the board of directors. It's already written in stone. Okay. So yeah.
Moving on. For December, did you just want to make that like a planning towards 2022, or will you and Adriana handle that, and then we just meet again in January?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to do that because the third Tuesday would be the 21st, and that's going to be the week of Christmas holiday time. So we probably should be black on that, and then Adriana and I will get together because we need to plan for the strategic meeting in January as well.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks, Sylvia. See, I told you she'll reel me in. Now I got all passionate. Thanks, Sylvia. So, okay. I got it. All right. So thank you, everyone. I hate to say it, but it sounds like this may be the last time I get to see you until 2022. And we pulled this committee together so fast, and we jumped, and each and every one of us jumped with 2 feet in and said, we're going to do this and we're going to make something out of this committee. I appreciate you all for doing that. And I know what? It's going to be an even better year in 2022. So please, we may be black in December, but don't think you won't get an email from me. But we may be black in December, but we're still full force in January of 2022. Okay. All righty, guys. Thank you so much again. Sandy, thank you so much. I'm glad you were here. And Lisa, Jamie, Amir, Chris, thank you. We're going to see you in January, right? All righty.
Yes,
And
yes,
Cheryl, thank you again. I appreciate all your help and support. And Tammy, this was an inspiration. I thank you. Oh, Sylvia, you know, I love you to death, girlfriend. You hold us all together and make us look like $1 million.
Thank you. I love working with you guys.
All righty. So until 2022, I'll see you guys then. Tammy, thank you. I'll be in touch with you. Okay.
Absolutely.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Amir,
Yes.
you know we're in. Okay.
We are in. In fact, what I'm looking for is June. You know, for June is National Homeownership Month. So I'm trying to figure out how we could possibly connect with them for our IEAOR homeownership project.
Okay.
Homeownership Month project. So
Yeah.
that would be super exciting.
Yeah, I
if we
love
could
it.
connect with them. We could sponsor a room. I would love to invite them to February as well. So we've got a lot of synergy that we could really take advantage of. So I'm excited about that.
We're going to make a difference. Yay, everybody.
I'm trying to think Yeah, I would love to. This like intersects in a lot of my world. So I'm really I'm going to reach out to them to figure out how to maybe sponsor a house overseas as well. So it's just a ton of things.
Yeah, there's tons of things that we can do. Sylvia,
Yes.
you got to be in it with me next year still.
So you're not the president anymore? Who's the president? Who's the new president?
I'm not the chair. It'll be
Chair, I'm sorry.
it'll Adriana. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
So it'll be Adriana, and then I'll just be there to help and assist with my passion that's out of control.
Right.
I know. Sylvia.
We need the energy to keep us going. So
You don't even need it.
good.
You just need a net. You need a net for her.
Oh my gosh, I know. I just, I can see it.
There's a
So,
ton of things though. I know. I mean, even so I used to work with the it's very interesting because there is a Section 8 to home ownership program that I used to work for. I actually did the first one in California years ago before the market went crazy in the early 2000s. So I definitely know how changing the mindset.
yes.